There are 6.5 billion people on Earth, of which about 300 million reside in the United States. 70% of world's drug distribution is concentrated on the United States. 40 million Americans use only illegal drugs. Daily, 3,175 people in the United States die due to drug use. Age at which kids try drugs is getting lower and lower each year. According to the latest statistic, average age at which people start using drugs is 10 years old. Drug addiction is a plague that is taking lives of our children. I was 14 years old. My circle of friends consisted of people who were using drugs like crank, crack, crystal meth. One day I was asking a friend to let me try the drugs, and when she finally agreed and I tried them, I liked it a lot. This is how it began, and now I have been using drugs for 10 years. Since I was 12 years old, I've had many surgeries on my leg, and I was prescribed strong medications to manage the pain. I started liking the effects of those pills, and the amount the doctors prescribed was no longer enough for me. I started asking friends if anyone knew where I could get more pills like this. During their life, each addict gets about 20 more people to start using drugs. The first time I started using drugs was when I went to high school and I started hanging with the wrong crowd. As far as I saw, 30 to 50% of kids in school used some type of drugs. I gave heroin to my friend that has been clean for 6 months. The next day, he died of overdose. 70% of all crimes committed are done by people who are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Practically every addict at some point commits a crime in order to get their next fix. This dramatically raises the rates of crime, prostitution, and suicide. I was ready to do whatever it took. Just to get high, I was willing to sell my body. When I have withdrawals, I resemble a beast. I can't even recognize myself. I would take weapons and come outside, ready to steal, lie, rob a person, house, drug dealer. I was ready for it all, just to get the drugs to quiet down this pain inside of me, the withdrawals. A couple of years ago, I had a boyfriend. I got pregnant from him, and on the 4th month of my pregnancy, he died. I wanted to commit suicide several times. In most cases, kids that are born of drug users are born with deformities and deficiencies. Sporadic sexual acts among addicts often cause unplanned pregnancies, which significantly raise the need for abortions. I just want to say that it doesn't matter how old you are, what kind of family or background you come from, the drugs affect all people. Doesn't matter where you grew up, what you were taught as a child. Each year, the United States government allocates $50 billion to fight the war on drugs. That's $1,500 every second. It is a sad fact that programs like detox or methadone program are not only ineffective, but often sustain a drug addiction. Program's official statement is temporary help. As to curing the addiction, the modern medicine is powerless. To date, Christian rehabilitation centers are a lot more effective than any medical approach. Success rate of people who did not return to their addiction is 3% for those who received medical help and 80% for those who completed a Christian rehabilitation program. Main objective for Christian rehabilitation centers is not just helping addicts quit, but to help them change their whole lifestyle. Only that can guarantee that a person will not return to their addiction. This is the reason this program is established, based on biblical principles, which help change people's perspective, priorities, and help build a new life for themselves. Along the course of their rehabilitation, each person experiences rebirth, regains the desire and the reason to live. Christian rehabilitation centers provide a family atmosphere, helping restore people's desire to rebuild their broken relationships with their family and friends. Christian Rehabilitation Center resembles a Bible college with a carefully compiled schedule, helping the rehabilitants learn to pray, have Bible study, engage in sporting activities, camping, and more. Every day, they learn to work with their hands, cook, take care of themselves, and practice new lifestyle habits. But the most important fact is that they start a personal relationship with God, which is the foundation for their future. Besides the spiritual restoration, people receive healing from sicknesses such as tuberculosis, hepatitis, AIDS. But the very first miracle every one of them experiences is freedom from withdrawal. The biggest thing I've noticed here is that I had no withdrawals, which I feared so much. I had them before, and it's the first miracle God did for me here. What amazed me is that after the prayer that I didn't even pray, people prayed for me. I had no withdrawals. This was my first or second week in the center, and after the service, I went to my room, closed my door, I repented, I started crying, I opened up my heart to God and confessed all my sins. I opened my heart to God and asked Him to help me. I didn't want to continue living my life the way I have. God took all the weight off my heart, removed all sorrow that I had from my life. For the first time in my life, I am dreaming of starting a family. I want to help people. When I see the new girls that are coming to the center, from the first day to a month into their progress, when I see how God changes them, I could never imagine the joy that it brings to me, seeing that. Every person who received freedom from an addiction now touches lives of 20 more that are still suffering. My biggest dream is to help at least one person come to God, so that they would repent and live with God. At least one. This is not the end. There's a different lifestyle, and there's real joy. You can experience it. You just need to make this step to Him. He is waiting for you. My name is Alex Prosvetov, pastor of Father's House Ministries. 10 years ago, just like these guys, I was dying from drugs. At age of 18, it has rushed into my life, and when I was a great child and a great athlete, it began to destroy my life. All the love my parents gave me and the values they taught me were destroyed in just 4 years. When I realized that I lost everything and there is no longer a purpose of my life, I decided to intentionally overdose. I took a dose over 5 grams. That was enough for about 40 people, and I gave myself the golden injection. I took such high dose intentionally so that I could not be revived. An hour later, when I was already dead, I was discovered. People tried to give me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but it was useless, as my body was already cold. Among those people was a priest that prayed for me with a simple prayer: Lord, as you resurrected Jesus, the same way, please resurrect this young man. In front of everyone, I started breathing, coughing, sitting up. Since then, I devoted my life to the Lord, to helping people that are living the way I used to. I want to address everyone who is watching this program, regardless of your faith or denomination. If this is a problem in your life, know one thing for sure: there's a way out, and it's with God. This is the reason why today God unites people, families, churches, so that we could take a stand against this plague. So join us. It is us and our decision to take part in salvation of the future generation. May God bless you.